Hi, everyone. Welcome again to Wingman Wisdom. Thank you for being with me today. You know, I read a lot now that I'm semi-retired, and the more I read, the more I just seem to get discouraged. I read stories and I see news stories and get emails, and I wonder whatever happened to common sense, whatever happened to resiliency. So today I want to talk to you about maybe where the deals are in buying an RV. I want to talk about common sense, and I'm not trying to be ugly. And I'm going to tell you something towards the end that it's just like, what? You've got to be kidding me. So let me start out. When I was a teenager, when I knew everything, when I was about 17 years old, we lived next door to this really cool guy. You know, he was probably in his 30s, but he was an old guy to me, but way younger than my dad was. And he was so cool. And I'd go to him every once in a while for advice. And he finally said to me, he says, Alan, you really don't want my advice, do you? Yes, that's why I'm talking to you, because I want your advice. He goes, no, you don't. You don't want my advice. Yes, I do. He said, no, you want somebody to agree with you. That's not taking their advice. You want me to buy in and agree with you. And I thought, huh? But you know what? In retrospect, he was right. When you ask for advice, do you really want advice? Or do you want somebody to just go, yeah, that's a good idea? I have learned that my life goes better when I tell the truth. So if you ask me for my advice, I'm going to tell you my advice from my perspective. I'm not a financial counselor. I don't take any responsibility for your decisions. But I do hope that I will get you to think about some things. So you'll go, ooh, maybe prevent you from making some mistakes. So I'm going to talk about common sense, as I said, and hopefully you'll take my advice and process it, maybe throw it away. I don't know. You might want to agree with some of it. So I did a video not long ago about where the deals are, where you can get a deal in buying an RV. And Ken wrote to me and he said that thanks for sharing with me the buyer's guide. And he's referring to the free RV report that I talk about pretty much every day. Tips on tricks in buying and selling an RV. It did aid in taking my current direction. At this stage of my life, 69, being a solo RVer, a relatively inexperienced one at that, I've elected to put off my search for an RV temporarily. As a retired farmer, I love farmers. I love farmers and mechanics and anybody that does things with their hands and has to think about it instead of just plugging something in. I love that. He said that as a retired farmer, I've trusted God and my common sense in making decisions and purchases and run when they don't make sense. My dad drilled into me that when situations are unsettled, it's best to downshift, be conservative, and wait a bit. I'll continue to watch your videos. I'm grateful you share the knowledge and wisdom gained in your career path, if for no other reason than to educate the needy public. Ken, thank you for that email, and thank you to everybody for watching my videos. I am deeply grateful. I hope that you will comment on this and all of my videos to get a conversation going. I hope that these virtual campfire conversations will connect with some people, hopefully with some people that will help them. It won't lead them down the wrong path that they will regret. I got another email recently from a gentleman that was, well, let's just look at it. This guy's name was Scott. He says that he bought a new Rockwood in 2004, then replaced it with a 2015 Rockwood, Rue, both from Tom Raper RVs in Richmond, Indiana, now owned by Camping World, with whom I will not do business. Now, as we are retired and have been snowbirding, we're starting to consider new models, and the Keystone Cougar 22 MLS East floor plan meets our needs, under 28 feet in length. Our machine shed, both dinette and sofa, no Murphy bed, gas oven, two-way fridge, well-insulated, lots of windows. Rockwoods are either too long or don't have both the dinette and the sofa. However, having inspected a 22 MLS at Walnut Ridge in Newcastle, Indiana, I have concerns. If you have concerns before you buy the RV, and you've just got that queasy feeling and you're like, I don't know, that kind of worries me that I'm reading this stuff on the internet. It worries me that I look at these quality issues. Do you think that those issues are just going to disappear? You're going to forget about them after you start making payments on it or after you start using it? I don't think so. This is going back to my neighbor when he was asking me, when I asked him for advice, he says, you don't want my advice. This gentleman may not want my advice because he continues on. He's looking at a Cougar, which is made by Keystone, and that they make a fine RV. Not a great RV in my opinion, but they make a fine RV. But look, and I want you to ask yourself, what would you tell this guy? What would you tell him? Don't worry about it. Just go ahead and buy it. Or would you tell him the truth? Or maybe you see things different from me. I would love to hear your thoughts. Let me read to you. He says, this is a cable slide out instead of the rack and pinion in my Rockwoods. Rockwoods are good RVs. There are no bulletproof RVs out there. None of them are, but Rockwoods are really good RVs. Cable slide out instead of a rack and pinion in my Rockwood. The shower floor is spongy. Owners on forums try to address with spray foam and or wood blocks. The outside propane grill access is poorly located under the steps instead of wall mounted with a grill rail. Asdale is not utilized. These are all negatives about the Cougar that he's thinking about. There is no factory installed antifreeze inlet. An outside shower has been replaced with a shower port. The Cougar uses leaf springs, which are less expensive than Rockwood's Dexter Torflex that I loved on our roof. I don't want any solar, but solar is standard. We're checking in if we can order a special build with solar deleted. The Cougars have small vent fans instead of Max Air. Max Air are those great big fans to get the heat out. The Facebook forum for Cougars seems to have many more problem concerns than Rockwood roof forums. No kidding. The forums is where you'll get the most honest information for the widest cross-section of people that are actual owners. So again, the Facebook forum for Cougars seems to have many more problem concerns than the Rockwood roof forums, including leaking slide-out roofs, leaking shower door tracks, sagging slide-outs, wobbly wall mount dinette tables, solar wiring errors, leaking windshields, leaking LED exterior lights, in-command glitches, and squeaking floors. Would you buy a RV, a Cougar, any brand of RV, if you were reading reports from many, many people that said that our RV has these conditions? Would you just overlook them and think that you're the lucky one? You're going to get a good one and all these other people, they were just not lucky? Or would you run? Well, here's the rest of it. It says, I know that since I am close to Indiana, I should be able to get a better price. I'll special order to get solar lithium battery deleted, slide topper, thermal windows, Max Air with covers added, and ladder spare tire mount deleted for length. I will use a hitch mount for the spare so I can remove for storage. Walnut Ridge is the only non-Camping World Cougar dealership near me. I've heard good things about Walnut Ridge. I really have, but I've heard some things about Cougar that make me kind of go, He continues. He says, am I correct in being concerned about Keystone Cougar design and quality compared to Rockwood, despite both being owned by Forest River? Well, you should be concerned, but it's not because they're owned both by Forest River. They're not. Rockwood is owned by Forest River. Keystone owns Cougar, which is underneath the Thor umbrella. They're two completely different manufacturers. They are. A Rockwood, I believe, I'm not getting paid to say this, I think it's a pretty damn good RV. You had two of them, and now you're looking at one that you haven't even bought yet. Spongy floors and concerns with the slide outs and the leaks and the owners' forums. I would say don't do it, even if you get a good price. What is price when you have a terrible value, when you have a bad experience? How important is that price to you? So let me know what you think. What would you honestly tell Scott about the Keystone Cougar? I'm sure there's some plenty good ones out there too. But if there's all these people saying bad things, do you think that it might be a warning sign? Or do you think Scott may be like me going to my neighbor when I was a kid? He just wants me to agree with him? I have to be honest. That's who I am. Yes, am I a contrarian? Damn right, I'm a contrarian. When you say something, I'm going to look at it, and I'm going to look at the other side, and I'm going to go back and forth and back and forth. That's what a contrarian does. And that's what Wingman wisdom is about. It's not trying to, I'm right, you're stupid and I'm smart. Believe me, I am plenty stupid at many, many things. But I'm also plenty good at being a contrarian. I suggest we will make fewer mistakes in our lives if we think logically and rationally and not emotionally in what our desires are. If we become more of a contrarian, if we try to be open-minded, that doesn't mean to be a doormat, but to be open-minded. That said, I want to move on to something that I saw that just makes me sick. It just makes me wonder what the hell is going on in our country. I want to know what you think about this. I spoke recently about Cracker Barrel. Believe it or not, Cracker Barrel is now under fire for its racist name. Under fire for their racist name. Can you think of a time in our history when we have ever had so many people that are so fragile? They're so sensitive. They have no resiliency. They can't fix things. They can't think of solutions. They have no critical thinking skills. They are offended by everything. And now we've got Cracker Barrel under fire for its racist name. Just bear with me on this. The comfort food style restaurant chain Cracker Barrel, known for its overwhelming amount of ornamental knickknacks and vintage signs plastered on the walls, is in some social media trouble today. Oh no! Folks on the internet are claiming Cracker Barrel is racist. What's behind the meaning of Cracker Barrel? According to dictionary.com, Cracker Barrel means of or suggesting the simple, rustic informality and directness thought to be characteristic of life in and around the country store. Duh. No kidding. Isn't that what you thought Cracker Barrel was? You walk in, they smell good, it feels good, like you're stepping back in a Wayback Machine, a time machine. It feels good. Hey, if you don't like it, don't go. But I like it. You walk in, and that's what Cracker Barrel is all about. Except, not to everybody. To somebody who's willing to look at anything. I'm going to pick apart everything. Those people have picked apart corporate America, picked apart our Constitution, picked apart our heroes, picked apart everything, and we have allowed them to do it. What can we do about it? I don't know, but let's just go on. Let's just see how bad Cracker Barrel is. And I want to know what you think. If you think that I'm overreacting or you think these people are overly sensitive, I'll just let them, let's just acquiesce and just do what they ask us to do. He goes on, it says that, blah, 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 blah. So what is the meaning behind Cracker Barrel's logo? In a tweet, one user claimed you can even see a whip in the logo going from the first R in barrel to the K in cracker. Oh my God. Let's look at it. Let's look at it under a microscope. But let's don't notice the obvious things in our country. Let's don't point them out because then you're a homophobe or whatever you happen to be, some phobia thing, and you get criticized for it. So don't, but they can pick apart everything. While it's currently unclear whether or not there is any historical evidence to that claim, the company has since removed the connecting line from the R to the K in the logo. That drives me crazy. What do you think about it? Should we have to respond to every little complaint? Every person feels, I'm oppressed because of you, and I need to come after you. These companies, we have seen it with Anheuser-Busch lately. We see it all around us. These woke people have taken over the country. They have. Can you just imagine if you were the head of Anheuser-Busch or whoever the company is, Cracker Barrel, and you got some niche group saying you're bad, and we demand you fix it, or we're going to see you burn in hell. That's what they do. We've let the crazies take over the insane asylum. How do you feel about it? Do you think that we have turned everything over because we just sat back and go, well, we got to, let's don't rock the boat. Let's make them happy. They are taking over everything. Now, I don't know what the answer is, but the answer isn't, I believe, let's take off the little potential whip between the B and the K and cracker. It's not fold to everything. It's to stand up for something. We are so divided. We are so argumentative. I know that I am a passionate, sometimes considered a toxic person because I'm honest, because I push back, because I ask questions. I will tell you the truth as I see it. Do I have the only answer, the right answer? Hell no. Oftentimes I'm wrong, but oftentimes I'm kind of in the right direction. That's what Wingman Wisdom is all about. If you want my advice, write to me. Drop a comment below. I try to get back to as many people as possible. Yes, I've done this free RV report. No, I don't make any money off of it. And yes, you have to accept responsibility for whatever you decide. You want to do a business with RV dealers I trust? Awesome. I'm not going to get paid a commission, but I am going to get the satisfaction knowing that I connected you with somebody that I trust. Can you trust them? You got to check it out. You can buy from whoever you want to. But whatever your decisions are in life, own your decision. Don't blame it on somebody else. I would finally encourage you to try to have some common sense. I think that I'm right about a lot of things. At the same time, the contrarian in me says, Wingman, you gotta watch out. You gotta watch out. Not everybody's going to see things the same way. But if we take away and keep cutting away at our fiber, our fabric, that help make our country the greatest country on earth, what's going to be left? Seriously, I'd like to know what you think. For me, it's time to prepare. I've been preparing. For what? What are you preparing for? You're a conspiracy theorist. Really? Can you not look back at the last 20, 30, 40 years and see how we have just drifted off as a culture? Corporate America has caved to these woke groups that are trying to force their beliefs on us, and we don't even exist. It's happened for a long time. It's called creeping normalcy, and I don't like it. The good news is I think that I'll be gone when many of these little bitty kids, my grandson, will be up and old enough and he won't even know the difference because he's been fed all that wokeness his entire life. I'm hopeful that you will share this video, that you'll give it some thought. If you think I'm just an angry old fart, that's okay. I can be angry, but I want to be honest. I want to be loving. I want to give good advice, at least my input for you to consider. Because when you are unhappy, when you go online and you start blasting companies for your mistake, it's your mistake. Those companies out there, every company out there has reviews. You've got a brain, don't you? You can do some internet research, can't you? It's not me. Well, I did it because of him. Wow. Don't buy an RV because of me. Don't sell your RV because of me. But do use me as a resource. I surround myself with good people, not perfect people, honest people, people that want to earn your business. If not today, maybe next month, maybe 6 months from now, but they want to earn your business. Please drop a comment below. If you like Wingman Wisdom, subscribe to the channel, give this video a thumbs up, and share it on social media with your family and friends that might enjoy a little bit of virtual campfire Wingman Wisdom. I will see you soon. I'm Alan Warren, the RV Wingman. Be safe, have fun, play nice, and don't leave your good manners at home.